Hey folks, Bunlachi Tech here, or should I say,
Good morning.
it's that time of year and Apple has just announced macOS 27, and with that comes Game Porting Toolkit 4, and the Mac 27 beta has been installed on my M5 MacBook Air. So we're going to go ahead and test out some of these settings. First off, starting with the capture methodology. Before I had been recording on screen with direct local capture. Now I'm offloading to the RTX 4080. So just a quick recap for those of you new to the channel or new to Mac gaming. Crossovers is a way to play Windows games on Mac using Wine as a translation layer. And Apple themselves developed Game Porting Toolkit in hopes that developers would move their games to Windows. But one benefit to us as consumers, as non-app developers, is actually utilizing their tools and technologies to play the games, Windows games, which was meant for evaluation for developers, and actually play them yourself. So for the people who always want to just look at graphs, not sure why you're on YouTube, but anyways, these are the settings. Feel free to pause the video just to showcase what I'm getting. One thing I'm trying to debug is if you watch previous content, my M5 MacBook Air before got 60 frames per second on Spider-Man. I'm not sure if it's a game patch or some settings. I could leave comments below on kind of the setup, but basically, the only game I really play, Dota 2, seems to be running better with shader cache, which is improved and noted performance on the patch notes. So now getting into some of the gameplay, you can see here 30 frames per second with DLSS off, and if we go into the settings, we could see enabling it in the metal HUD on the top right should showcase the M5 neural engines that are now on the GPU being utilized. There you can see the scaling target resolution 964, and then obviously it gets upscaled to half the retina resolution of the M5, which is 1472 by 960. So with that said, I'm not exactly sure. I particularly, for some reason, can't find old footage. I don't save any of my old footage from YouTube, just my previous YouTube videos, but I'm pretty sure on my graphs I showed 60 frames per second on M5 MacBook Air, and I wasn't able to kind of hit that, so not exactly sure what's going on, but we could see here if we try FSR, still kind of similar performance of around 30. Yeah, that's my take here on Spider-Man 1. I think the M5 MacBook Air, some people like playing 30 frames per second. This game definitely playable. So I want to go a little bit now into actually getting Game Porting Toolkit. So if you Google search Game Porting Toolkit 4, it should bring you here to this Apple page, and then once you click the link, you'll be asked to sign in. Once inside, you simply can choose between the two. This one, the evaluation environment, actually gets you the files that you need. Once you open it up, there is a README that you could follow along, but I'm going to visually show you on screen basically what the README instructions say to get it up and running on your Crossovers bottle. This is making an assumption that you actually already have Crossovers installed. If you don't, you could Google search Crossovers, use the affiliate link, etc. But when you right click, you hit show package contents. It will bring you here to what I'm showcasing on the Finder menu. On the left, the Game Porting Toolkit files from Apple. So you go to this folder structures, shared support, crossovers, lib64, Apple GPTK, and in here you can see the matching folder structures in which you could, in my opinion, you could either make a backup or delete them and just copy and paste them over here. The final thing you'll have to do is when you open the C drive from the Crossovers bottle, it'll bring you to these Finder menu where you could kind of navigate, and here this is straight from the README, but I'm showcasing. You go to System 32, you copy and paste. The file names have to match this exactly. I will say from my testing, I wasn't able to get DLSS up unless I used what came from the bottle. So perhaps this is why we're getting some performance degradation in Spider-Man and possibly other games. So previously in my testing, I showcased on the M5 Pro that Spider-Man 2 works. Now in testing on my M5 MacBook Air, I have, of course, returned the M5 Pro versions and settled on the 32GB, which I'm doing this testing. I get a freeze, which sometimes I saw the M1 Max, and you could disable M-Sync, but I'm not exactly sure what's going on here. Perhaps future official crossovers will support this, but you can see here at an 8x speed, almost waiting 10 minutes. Literally, the thing just spins and spins and spins, and nothing really happens. So not playable. There were people on YouTube, Andrew Tsai, mentioning with 007 First Light that game particularly took a long time to load. Maybe that's the same thing we're seeing in Spider-Man 2. Meanwhile, what you're seeing visually on the screen, loading up Marvel Rivals, we can see the performance here basically was getting around 30-ish FPS with all the settings off. And then here, just so you could visually see what the settings were, putting everything manually on low, I didn't hit optimize because I wasn't particularly working well for me. But yeah, getting a stable 30 frames per second, and of course this was recorded. The B-roll footage you're seeing here was recorded on an iPhone, so nothing impacting. Yeah, for some reason I was getting, perhaps because of the macOS 27 update, allowing for access to go to my desktop or documents, I think because it stores the crossover Windows settings there. So yeah, 30 frames per second, and then we go back to the settings. We could showcase turning on some of the DLSS features that supposedly are updated. I need to double check or get confirmation somehow. The language on the website said that, you know, the upscaling is better with the M5 Pro and M5 Max neural accelerators that are on the GPU, but technically the same architecture is on this M5 MacBook Air, so I'm not exactly sure why they didn't say, you know, all three M5, M5 Pro, M5 Max. And then if you turn on frame generation, you need to actually restart. So here is the footage where you can confirm that frame generation is on with the interpolation. If you look at the right, frame interpolator is enabled, where you see the render FPS is 16 and then kind of somehow boosts up to 60 frames per second with some slowdowns here and there. So I will say that take my benchmarks with a grain of salt. I've been doing a lot of AI content, and I actually have I have these scripts loaded, but Fable 5 just came out and I'm doing some on-prem local device fleet, and this is technically supposed to be unloaded, but just keep in mind if I have some of my scripts not running right. Yeah, that probably should have prefaced that, but I think what we're seeing here is just Mac 27 performance gains on a lot of the games, and perhaps my config that I mentioned in the beginning of not being able to get the DLSS DLLs working in the System32 folder is causing a mismatch. So I'm not exactly sure if it's actually running, you know, the latest GPTK4 NVIDIA files. Bumping now into Kingdom Come Deliverance. You can see here what the settings are. DLSS is off, and the graphics settings originally were on high, but we kind of move later into turning them on. So going into the actual settings, we see here 20 frames per second, which is not, in my opinion, playable. I think 30 frames per second is baseline you should try to get, but that is, of course, because we have the settings too high, and we'll showcase later kind of what the settings are when you go low. Dialing into the settings to try and get better performance, we could turn everything to low, turn off anti-aliasing. So just going fast 4x speed on changing the settings back into the game, we see a bump from 20 to 30 FPS, which is pretty good in my opinion, the playable settings for a fanless device. And of course this version is the 10 core GPU version, the bumped up version, not the base model that has reduced GPU cores. So this is theoretically pushing the base device to what you could get. Some people might prefer M5 Pro. Actually, you know, you guys follow along with some of the content I've been making. Just came back from Italy. Unfortunately, my kid had to hospitalized, so we did an emergency med back. But during the time there, I'm actually realizing, you know, I don't really game when traveling, and the M5 MacBook Air is perfect for traveling, doing work, etc. But if there is off chance that people are on the go and want to consider, you know, the weight of the M5 versus the M5 Pro or M5 Max, you know, there's a subtle difference in almost a pound. So that's my take on the devices, and if you use this device to game. Now, if you are optimizing, perhaps doing more AI or doing more, you know, game focus, I think M5 Pro is the sweet spot. Check out Micro Center deals. They actually had a really good deal on the bumped up version, which had kind of the unbinned, like all the GPU cores. Finally, the game I pretty much only play. I've moved on from being a Arc Warden spammer to a Tinker spammer. He seems really broken right now. But originally in these settings, in this demo test, you can see here 50 frames per second dropping down when doing some intense graphical spell casting. I will say, you know, I do prefer doing the crossovers version. This is not the macOS version because it stays true to my muscle memory that I have of Windows. Particularly some of the, in my opinion, I find input lag, stuff of that nature. So that is kind of the state of Mac gaming. I think it handles Bluetooth differently on mouses that you could look up a whole Reddit thread about. But essentially going into watch mode, this kind of simulates how a real life game was. The shader cache is supposed to be improved with macOS 27 and the Metal 4 rendering. I think I do find that the case, though I haven't fully played a game. I've been actually playing on my Legion, trying to get some gaming in. But yeah, if you turn the settings down to lowest, I prefer actually having the render quality at 100, shadows off. We could get like 45, 60-ish frames per second, sorry, as it boosts up, which I think is totally playable if that is the case when running a live game. And then, of course, testing in a lobby simulates the network situations. But yeah, I think game is totally playable. I think, let's just wait here to see some of the spellcasting still stays a stable 60. So yeah, definitely, I would say I actually just installed this on my M1 Max. I do find macOS 27 to actually make my device really snappy. Like the M1 Max is actually flying right now. It's crazy. M5, for some reason, I'm seeing a little slowdown, but I chalk it up to, Mac 27, you need indexing and stuff of that nature. So be on the lookout for some of the channels I've been doing, Blood Logic Tech, Al Nafa. I do want to keep doing some AI content, so be on the lookout for that. If you're interested in local LLM, Fable 5 was released, stuff of that nature. I'll be testing out kind of how it's helping me stay grounded with, right now I'm using Hermes, pinging me on Telegram, gratitude journaling, like processing my actual journals, giving me gratitude prompts. It's actually pretty cool. So be on the lookout for some of those videos. Thanks everyone. Take care.